Hey, what's up? Pizza Solving Nerd here. Today I just want to demo something I was working on involving ice. So basically, I have the idea for an ice store. So I'm basically making this video for the Peppermint team to kind of show it off. But I'm happy to show it to you guys, my viewers, too. So yeah, let's get into the video. So if I launch this ice store, this is just an early prototype of what I've been working on. It will list a bunch of different web apps, and it will show the icons, the name, description, the URL, and install. Now, this is just the initial interface. This is just because I want to show the backend code mostly. I want this interface to be more similar to Pamax, so what it will have is on the left, it will have a sidebar with a bunch of different categories. So yeah, basically, the issue of Ice is you have to know what website you want to put in it, and you can't really discover any new web apps. So this is my solution to that. So if I click on install for one of them, it opens Ice in a dialog mode. So this is a modification I made to Ice itself to help to create this program. So as you can see, it automatically pops up and it fills in the name, the URL. I haven't added where in the menu yet. I'm going to add that, and I haven't added support for icons. So all of that will be filled in eventually, just not yet. However, the reason it even launches Ice in the first place is so that the user can choose their web browser and then hit OK. So I'm doing YouTube for an example. I'm going to hit OK on Chromium. And now if I scroll down to the very bottom, I have a YouTube Ice app right here. So as you can see now, I have a Ice app for YouTube. So I'll show you guys the way it works. So I'm using GTK for the toolkit. I decided to go with that because one, I actually know how to use GTK. I don't know how to use Qt. But two, that's what Ice uses, so to make it a little bit more consistent with Ice. So right here, I just have the grids for both YouTube and MeVap. Now, what I plan to do in the future is I plan to have the Ice Store download this XML file with all of the web apps every time you launch the application. Correction, I'm editing this video right now and I realized I said I was going to use an XML file. I'm actually going to use a JSON file. Not sure why I said that. And then it will set up web apps in its categories and stuff. So then it'll just have a loop going for each
JSON
item, and then it will basically just continually run this, this into a grid, except for the icon, for the text, for the description. All of that will be in the XML file, and it will automatically be filled into here. So then I'm gonna have basically all of these grids attached to this one main grid right here, so I actually have the code for that to work right here. Now, Ice doesn't actually normally support command line arguments, so I added that into Ice myself. I imported argparse. Then right here we have all the arguments, so we have the SSB name, URL, browser I didn't initially have, but someone on the Ice forums asked me to add it. I'm also going to add an argument for the icon and an argument for where in the menu to put it. Now this dialog mode thing, this is new. I just added this so that I could develop this, and this basically turns Ice into a dialog. So if I were to normally run Ice, as you can see, it has a close apply button, there's a remove tab where you can remove Ice applications, stuff like that. Well, what this dialog mode does is it modifies the look and feel of Ice to make it feel more like a dialog. Now, one thing I did is I made it so that if dialog mode is false, which it is by default, then that's when it creates like the pages for the notebook bar, and if it doesn't if it isn't in dialog mode, then it actually removes the pages so that there isn't a create and remove tab, because I felt like having a remove button for Ice applications inside an Ice dialog would be weird. And then as a side effect, if I were to remove the create tab fully, and then just have, as a side effect, if I were to remove the create tab fully, what happens is it doesn't show any of the elements from Ice inside the dialog. So what this line of code does So what these lines of code do is if dialog mode isn't on, then it will add in the notebook bar inside of the application. But if it is on right here, then it will instead just take the page the create page right here and just put that in instead of the notebook bar. So that's why there is a color difference. If I were to launch Ice, the colors are slightly different right here than if I were to launch it with dialog mode enabled. I forgot to type true. See, if I launch dialog mode, the colors are a little bit different. I might fix that in the future, but this is just an early prototype. And then the other thing dialog mode does is instead of having the button set to apply, it changes it to OK, and soon I'm going to implement a feature where it will close the Ice dialog once you hit OK, it will close Ice, similar to how a dialog would do it. And then I changed the close button to cancel because, again, in a dialog, instead of having a button that just says close, it would say cancel. So this makes it so basically all of these changes just treats Ice as an install dialog that also happens to actually, install it, the web app. So yeah, I hope you guys, the Peppermint team, likes my idea. Tell me what you think of this idea on the forum, and if you aren't on the Peppermint team, you're just one of my actual viewers, I'm gonna have the link, the form link in the description so you can see what they have to say about it, and you could put your ideas for it and stuff too. So yeah, I've been working on this for like, I don't know, 3 days. Yeah. I've had the idea for a while though, I just haven't had the time to actually create the idea. But now that my school's out because of coronavirus, I had time to make it, so I made it. Anyways, yeah, that was the video. Thanks for watching. Thanks to patrons Sam Covett and Michelle Vantino, and I'll see you in the next one.